welcome to our All Out 2023 predictions video. Now, this card has very much gotten humongously stacked with 1 week after All In. We have over 13 matches to do. Now, there is one match which is going to be the over the budget battle royale, but we don't know any of the participants in it, so we're kind of going to skip over that one. But that still will be on the pre-show. But yeah, we have a lot of matches. I'm sure it's going to be another long card because that seems to be what AEW does with their cards. But yeah, I'm very excited for it. And yeah. But getting straight into it on the pre-show, we have Athena, Mercedes Martinez, Diamante taking on Hikaru Shida, Willow Nightingale, and Sky Blue in a 6-woman tag match. And who do you have for this one?
Unfortunately, it's not, this Mercedes. but yeah, I'll go Hikaru Shida, Willow, and Sky Blue. Willow, she's probably my favorite in AEW. And Hikaru Shida just came off a big loss for her belt, so time to get her win back.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you guys there. Again, Willow Nightingale's the New Japan Strong Women's Champion, I believe. And she's been having a good run. Hikaru Shida, like you said, just coming off a loss at All In. And also Sky Blue, the hometown girl. I think they'll get a nice big win on the pre-show. It should be a decent match. And then moving on, we do, like I said at the beginning, we had the Battle Royale, but we're going to skip over that. And we're going to have the Trios title on the pre-show where we have the Acclaimed, obviously Max Caster, Anthony Bowens, and Billy Gunn, with also the assistance of Dennis Rodman, taking on Jeff Jarrett, Satnam Singh, and Jay Lethal, again for the World Series Championship. And who do you have for this one?
The Acclaimed.
Yeah, they didn't bring those new belts out just to lose them in 1 week, so I'm sure we need a very lengthy run with these belts, but should be a decent match. Obviously, Jay Lethal is one of my. I really like Jay Lethal. He's somebody who I think is very underrated. Jeff Jarrett's all right, and Satnam Singh's okay. So it's just how that goes. But yeah, Acclaimed are definitely the pull the winner on this one. And then moving on to the main show, we're going to start off with Luchasaurus taking on Darby Allin for the TNT Championship. And who do you have for this one?
I'm gonna go for my boy Darby Allin. He's probably my favorite in all of AEW. Probably was CM Punk, but he's not in AEW anymore. But yeah, Darby Allin now, and yeah, he's just been great. We got to see him live as well. He pulled off the crazy skateboard stunt on Luchasaurus, actually it was. But yeah, I'm gonna go Darby Allin.
Yeah, for this one, I'm pretty torn because obviously, if you haven't been watching, it's obviously Christian Cage has been holding the belt for Luchasaurus, even though Luchasaurus is the one who's the actual winner and the actual holder of the belt. So I'm interested in how that plays out because I feel like there'll be some type of shenanigans in the sense of Christian Cage will still have the belt at the end of the night. But I'm going to go Luchasaurus just because, like I said, I think Christian Cage will do something to get involved and make Darby Allin lose the match. So yeah. And after that, we have Miro taking on Powerhouse Hobbs. And who do you have for this one?
This one, I'm going to go with my boy Miro. Not too much of a reason behind it, but yeah, just kind of going for him.
Yeah, this match is very interesting because Miro has somebody who has been very much people have wanted him to be used more on AEW television because he hasn't been. He was almost out for almost a year, I believe. And Powerhouse Hobbs is somebody that they felt like they always wanted to push, but when they have pushed him, no one really wanted him to do it, and then they kind of just immediately took the belt off of him. So I think this match can go obviously either way. But I'm going to go with Miro for the win here. But I think what will happen afterwards is we're going to see some type of connection between Miro and Powerhouse Hobbs and maybe form some type of team. Because I think that those two as a big tag team will be insane because two big men going after any of the tag team titles. Obviously the Ring of Honor tag team titles or obviously the normal AEW World tag team titles. So yeah, that match is going to be pretty interesting just because it can go. It's probably the most 50-50 match on the card. But yeah. Moving on, we have the TBS Championship on the line. We have Chris Statler defending it against Ruby Soho. And who do you have for this one?
I have Riot Squad, Ruby Soho winning. Yeah, I just have her winning. I kind of go with Soraya winning as well. And yeah, kind of see where that goes.
I'm going to go with Chris Statler for this one. I think, again, she hasn't had the belt for too long, hasn't had a big feud, and this is kind of probably her first big one, I would say, or her first big match with defending the belt. But yeah, this match should be pretty good. I think they can both put on, they did pretty good in the tag team match they have, or tag team match against each other, I think on Dynamite. So yeah, I'm expecting this match to be pretty good. But then moving on, we have Kenny Omega take on Konosuke Takeshita. And who do you have for this one?
I think I'm gonna go Kenny Omega. Like I said, not too much behind it because there's really no build behind like a lot of these matches. This one does have a little bit of build behind it, obviously, but a lot of these don't, or I just don't know enough about the people because, like I said, I'm still sort of new to AEW. But yeah, we're just kind of going with Kenny Omega.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Kenny Omega as well. I think he's the guy who he was nicknamed the best bout machine in New Japan. I think we're gonna see that type of Kenny Omega come back here. Obviously, him and Takeshita have a long history dating back to DDT. So yeah, I think this match will be very good. This will probably be one of the longer matches on the night because that's kind of what happens on AEW pay-per-views when you have a Kenny Omega in the match because he's one of the best in the all. He's gonna go down the best of all time. He's one of the best right now. So I'm sure this match will be a very great match. And obviously, Takeshita is somebody who's still very young, but has a lot of potential, and is probably be a future world champion in AEW. So very excited for this match as well. But then moving on, we have the International Championship on the line where we have Orange Cassidy defending against Jon Moxley. And who do you have for this one?
I'm going to go with... I go with Orange Cassidy for this one, I guess. I mean, he's super over right now. A lot of people like him. I really like him. I just think he should continue to hold his belt.
Yeah, for this one, this is a very hard one because Orange Cassidy has had over 32 title defenses in almost, I think, a little under a year now of holding the belt, and has been absolutely amazing. Every single match has got better and better. But obviously, the entire story going for this is just him being more fatigued after each match. And Jon Moxley is going to obviously bring out a lot of blood in this match. I think we're going to see a different side of Orange Cassidy. And I'm quite surprised they haven't turned this into like some type of street fight or like some type of no rules match or extreme rules or whatever the AEW equivalent would be. Because I feel like that's kind of what it was like teased for after the All In match, because obviously they were both against each other and that was kind of your finish over there. But yeah, I think Orange Cassidy does retain, but we're going to get a very beaten up Orange Cassidy, and he'll probably lose the belt relatively soon. But going on after that, we have an 8-man tag match where we have Bullet Club Gold taking on FTR and the Young Bucks. Now, this match will probably be your match of the night because it's how great each man is in that match. Obviously, FTR, one of the best tag teams of all time, and probably the best tag team as of right now. Young Bucks, similar to the FTR, one of the best tag teams of all time, and one of the best tag teams right now. But on the other side, you have Bullet Club Gold, which you have JY and Juice Robinson, who have been phenomenal ever since starting in AEW, especially JY has been amazing. Then obviously have the Guns, who are still very young, but have been great in their time in AEW so far. But for this one, I am going to go Bullet Club Gold. I think we're going to see a lot of like differences between FTR and Young Bucks on the apron. They're going to have a lot of bickering between each other, which will probably set up a third match, maybe at Full Gear, or maybe sometime next year, and just have a long build to it. I do think Bullet Club Gold does pick up the win on this one.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you. I think Bullet Club Gold wins. A lot of stuff got happened between FTR and the Young Bucks. Just no telling what happens between them. It could go smooth or it could go completely south. But yeah, I'm going to go with the Bullet Club.
And moving on from that, we have Better Than You, Baby, obviously the tag team of Adam Cole and MJF, taking on the Dark Orders of the combination of Alex Reynolds and John Silver, again, for the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championships. And who do you have for this one?
I'm going to go Adam Cole and MJF. They just have no reason to lose it just yet. They just won it. So I don't think they'll hold it for a long time, but I don't think this is the night that they do lose it.
Yeah, I think they're going to, MJF and Adam Cole will retain this match. I am glad to see John Silver and Alex Reynolds on a pay-per-view again, because they're two people who are quite underrated in my opinion. They continue to have great matches with almost everybody. So yeah, it's probably a great match, but I do not think they'll be the ones taking the belts off of MJF and Adam Cole. But yeah, it should be a great match because we're probably going to see some more tension between them two, or we're going to see that connection be even stronger, and they're going to have a very long reign with the ROH Tag Team Champions. But then moving on, we have the Ring of Honor World Television Championship where we have Samoa Joe taking on Shane Taylor. Now, to be honest, I don't know too much about Shane Taylor, but I know he's he's very renowned for his time in Ring of Honor. But I'm just going to go with Samoa Joe here. I think he's obviously coming off a loss at All In against CM Punk. I think he's going to retain here and kind of get another big win under his belt. So yeah, I'm going to go with Samoa Joe.
Yeah, same thing with me. I'm not too sure about Shane Taylor. Not sure who he is. But I do know Samoa Joe, and so I'm gonna pick him.
Then next up, we have Eddie Kingston and Katsuyori Shibata taking on Blackpool Combat Club with a combination of Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta, which should be a great hard-hitting match. For this one, I am going to take the tag team of Blackpool Combat Club. Obviously, the feud between Claudio and Eddie Kingston is going crazy. The two men hate each other, and it actually feels like they hate each other sometimes. But I'm sure when they get in, it's going to be a lot of heavy hits. But yeah, I'm going to go with Blackpool Combat Club.
Yeah, I'm going to go Team Eddie Kingston on this one. Not too much of a reason behind it. Once again, not too familiar with a lot of these people. But I have seen Eddie Kingston, and I know he's really good. So I'm going to go with him.
And then the match that was just announced on Collision in a very surprising return after a crazy injury at Forbidden Door. We have Bryan Danielson taking on Ricky Starks in a strap match. Now, I wasn't able to watch Collision. Obviously, we're watching Payback. However, from what I understood was Ricky Starks was going to call out Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, and he said he wanted the real American, he wanted the real Dragon. And then, obviously, Bryan Danielson comes out and gets him in a strap match, which I'm very excited for because Bryan Danielson is obviously one of the best of all time, one of the best technicians in wrestling. So, very interesting what happens in the strap match between these two. But who do you have for this one?
Yeah, I'm going to go Bryan Danielson. I mean, this is his big return, so no reason to spoil it with the loss. So, yeah, it'll probably be him.
Yeah, I'm going to go Bryan Danielson as well. Obviously, the rumor was that it was supposed to be Ricky Starks versus CM Punk, but as we mentioned, CM Punk has been fired from AEW after the incident at All In, which is very interesting because it felt like for a long time Tony Khan and the staff of AEW have always wanted to keep CM Punk at all costs, and I've always kind of let him slide with things and stuff like that, but he's actually finally gone, which is very crazy to me. When I found that out today, I was like very shocked. I didn't think it was real. Because they never really think, you always think that things could happen, but you never think they would actually will happen, and it finally did.
Then if it is true, what does he do next? Does he go to somewhere, or does he just call it quits there, you know?
Yeah, that's something that's going to be very interesting for CM Punk, because I don't want to make this all about this entire last bit about CM Punk, but it's such an interesting time in wrestling, because he's somebody who has been a pioneer in the last, not really the past few years, but before his exit from WWE and his return to wrestling, he's been a guy who everybody has to love. Even as a heel, you love him, and because he's one of the best of all time. He has the nickname "Best in the World" for a reason. But yeah, whether he goes back to WWE, which I kind of don't see it happening, I think he's kind of probably done with wrestling because I don't see him ever making amends now with AEW. I think that boat is like fully sailed. Maybe he goes to New Japan, but I don't see it happening. Now he might go for like a few matches, like dream matches, like it's like Will Ospreay, maybe some other people, but I don't see that happening. But like I said, WWE's obviously always an option. And like a few months ago, he didn't make amends with Triple H and The Miz apparently. So if that's the case, he goes to WWE. I'm very excited because there's so many matches you can have there. Him versus Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, like so many things you can possibly do. But yeah, it's a very interesting time for me, a wrestling fan. Obviously, it's one of those things that you just never thought would actually happen, you know?
Yeah, CM Punk, that's just a crazy story altogether. He's one of my favorites of all time, so, you know, I'm a little sad, I guess you could say, that he's gone, but it is what it is. We'll see how, you know, I mean, to replace him with Bryan Danielson is pretty damn good replacement, so I guess we'll kind of see how that goes. Or if it's all just a big work, maybe, and, you know, we'll find out.
Maybe. I'm interested also to see how that Chicago crowd responds to everything. Obviously, they're always going to be behind CM Punk, even though when the Elite returned, they were cheering F CM Punk at first, and then they kind of were getting behind Kenny Omega, kind of like taunting and like throwing shade at CM Punk. So I'm interested in what they did, or what they're going to do. I kind of hope there's a lot of instigating going on between the Elite and like Kenny Omega. They kind of tease and kind of be more dickheads towards CM Punk. I think it'll be funny, but yeah, very excited for this all out card. A lot of matches, probably another long pay-per-view, so get ready for it if you will be watching. And if you are, let us know your predictions down in the comments below. But yeah, thank you guys for watching this video, and see you guys in the next video.